Hello, everybody. Welcome to another episode of Broken Reel. This is a show about movies and turkey. It's the day before Thanksgiving. Naturally, we are here, shirking our familial and mature adult responsibilities to talk about movies again. Today, I'm joined by the usual suspects. That is Graham Davis, Ethan Stell, Tyler Werner, and Justin Slawter, the guest of honor, Justin Slawter. Ooh. We'll get to that in just 1 second. A little bit of housekeeping. Lucas isn't here today, but I just wanted to give you guys an update. He criticized me on not. Criticized might be a strong word, but he talked about the my apartment chronicles and my experience with my apartment complex, and he challenged me to walk around the basement and all of the stairwells. I just want to know that when I got off work today, that's the first thing I did. I found some dark, scary corners down in the basement, which is a parking garage. I found a like a little. It's like 3 parking spots that are not parking spots. They just have bike locks and like bike stands and bike locks. There must have been 100 bikes there. Half of them were piled up like it was the room of requirement in Harry Potter or something like that. It was just thrown in there, just stacked high. And some of those bikes looked like they've never been touched or haven't been touched in years.
That was a spawn point.
Additionally,
I forgot about.
Exactly. Yes, it was a spawn point for bikes. They just kept, and they're just like piling up. I found some cars too down there that also look like they haven't moved in years. There's one car down there that has so much dust on it, and the windows are cracked open. It's got like, I don't think it doesn't have bugs and stuff inside, but it's got like just like that dry, just dust and crap from like the ceiling falling into. There might be someone dead in one of these apartments, is what I'm trying to say, because that car doesn't look like it's moved in years.
They put our logo on it.
I should make stickers. Yeah. I should make stickers and go tag it.
Just draw it in there in the dust.
Yeah.
It's a great idea until you get a director or a detective knocking on your door.
Yeah.
True.
Yeah.
Like, sir, this man's been dead for 15 days. You got stickers all
15 days is what's the word? God damn it. Doesn't matter. It's more like 15 years. That car, like, I promise you, maybe I'll take a picture. I'll send you guys after. That car is in bad shape. But that's besides the point. I just wanted to give you guys an update on my Apartment Chronicles. Apartment Chronicles by Jason Keefe, soon to be a New York Times bestseller, apparently.
It's a picture book.
So, you know what? It will be a picture book. I'm going to shoot it all on film. Okay, so I just wanted to give you guys a quick update there. Because I think that's an important through line to this show. Maybe I'll walk around the town next time and report back my findings. But today we are here to talk about the guest of honor, Justin Slawter. We had an idea in one of our trial episodes, and I think all of you were here with the exception of Tyler, just so to give you some information on it. I wanted to get everyone's opinion. I say everyone's opinion. We might have like different episodes dedicated to each individual person to talk about this, but I wanted to get people's opinion on their quintessential 5-star rating system. So that is movies that are 1-star movies, 2-star, 3-star, 4, 5, and so on. So I think Slaughter may have just like expressed interest in it when I thought about that. I was throwing it out there, and Slaughter was like, I'm going to do this thing. And then Slaughter put in like a lot of work, like more than an acceptable amount of work into it from what I gathered. And we tried to fit it into the end of like, I don't know, episode 0.3 or something. I ended up cutting it out of the entire episode because Slaughter got like 10% of the way into his entire breakdown. I'm like, this is not going to work. We need a whole episode for this. This is obvious. So we got through that and we started the real episodes and needed something to talk about the day before Thanksgiving. So I figured this might be a good time to revisit it. So without further ado, this is Slaughter's super special, sexy, supreme Search and Smash Squad Sankstar system. Slaughter, the floor is yours. Take it away, however you want to do it.
Hang on, sorry, getting a robocaller. Okay.
We're calling about your car's extended warranty.
Hang on.
Oh,
okay.
Oh, yeah.
All right. Anyways, yeah. So I've been putting a lot of thought into this as a general ranking system and setup and everything. And I wanted to start off, I guess, to go through like what I think about rankings right now, what are the problems that I have with them as far as like how we rate movies, and then what I tried to do, and then I'm still kind of like working on doing. And then and I just want to hear if you guys want to hear some movies as far as like what I think is the worst or the best of the first, second, third, fourth, fifth. Does that work?
I definitely want to hear that, and yeah, maybe before we dive into your entire ranking system, I kind of want to cast a poll out there to the other gentlemen here and talk about maybe how you feel about ranking systems. Do you rank your movies? Do you subconsciously rank your movies? Do you physically rank them? If Lucas were here, him and I are users of Letterboxd. They have a 5-star ranking system. So that's kind of like where we have been in that. We also have a divide between us where I wish he was here to defend it. I'm going to keep it. I'll keep it light. So Letterboxd gives you 5 stars, which is a 5-star ranking system. However, for some reason, they let you rank things half stars, even though it's a 5-star system.
Sure.
So it's effectively a 10-star system. So my question is, why not just make it a 10-star system or just remove the half stars? So from my perspective is when I rank my things on Letterboxd, I only rank them in whole stars, because if it's a 1 to 5-star system, I rank it 1 through 5. A 3.5 is not like a real thing to me. You know what I'm saying? I've had a conversation with Lucas about it. I'll let him defend himself in the future episodes. Fine. So that's where I'm at. 1 to 5 stars, totally fine. You know, for me, it's like to put it plainly, it's like 1 star bad, 2 star fine, 3 star good, 4 star gooder, 5 star goodest. That's basically it. Like, it's not super special. So I'm curious how the other guys, before Slaughter, you dive into it, how the other guys think about ranking movies. If you have any like quintessential 1-star or 5-star movies, like that dichotomy, do you think of them on percentages, like when you think of Rotten Tomatoes, or do you just do like a simple 5-star system? Like, how are we all feeling about movie rankings?
So I'm personally a tomato man myself.
Tomato meter.
Yeah, the tomato meter. Because, I mean, that's kind of what we grew up with. It was the only website that was out ranking stuff back when we started, like watching movies when we were in high school, and it was back then. So, I mean, it's come a little bit farther since then, but again, too, it's ranking. I like their website because they take an average user rating and then they take an average critic rating, mix them together, and then give, like, they delineate both of those scores and tell you which one. But then also for a user perspective, you could say, well, I don't care about the user score. Just give me whatever's, like, certified fresh, or, like, they broke it down into different rate. Like, I guess it's getting a little off track of what your actual question is, but I personally stick to like the 0 to 100, and then I generally fall within the category like, oh, if it's anything over 50 on Rotten Tomatoes, I'm like, if I'm going to the movies to see it, it's probably worth seeing. Unless it's a comedy movie, then it's always like 30 for some reason. So
it's always known as
it's always known as it's 27%, and it's just don't even watch it.
Okay. Ethan or Tyler, any thoughts?
I guess normally when I'm talking about movies, I do a scale 1 to 10 for the most part. Like, I feel like it just 5 stars just isn't enough. Because it's like sometimes, I don't know, I watch a movie and I'm like, it's fine, it's probably a 3, but, you know, I feel like I just need that little extra bit of granularity to give it the sauce.
That's fair. I think that's a common approach. Both of you have outlined common approaches, percentages and 1 out of 10s for sure. Tyler, you have any thoughts on the matter?
Yeah, I tend to gravitate towards like a traditional like 1 out of 10 as well. But I would say that it's less, you know, when I quantify a film and give it a ranking, I'm not necessarily like quantifying the story script, you know, separately from like actors and characters versus, you know, tone, pacing, etc. Right? It's usually the way I think about where I would put a film is I think about other films that are nearest to it, and I say that this film is not as good as this film, but is almost as good as that film, or is a little better than this other film. But I also adhere pretty strongly to like a 5 out of 10. It truly means it is an average film, and almost no film in my no film is really getting a 10 out of 10. Like there's always some room for improvement, but like a really good film could get, in my ranking would be like an 8 to a 9. But it's always compared to other movies around it.
Yeah, I totally get that. And to blanket statement, we all know that this is an art form and that ranking these are completely subjective and a reflection of the individual himself. So, Tyler, I understand, and I can admire the fact that maybe you don't have any 10 out of 10 rankings. From my perspective, if I'm ranking things out of 5, I rank things as 5s a fair amount of time. Not a lot of the time, but a fair amount of the time. Because the 5-star ranking system, essentially, to me, means that it was an expertly crafted film, and it was also for me. And that's kind of where the rub is, right? Because whether or not any expertly crafted film in cinema history, I'm sure any amount of people can deconstruct and find something technically wrong with it or something creatively wrong with it in terms of just like the character arc of like doesn't make sense why this person would make this decision after knowing X about them or something.
Yeah.
So it's obviously it's subjective, full stop. We understand that, but we all get to approach these in different ways. So thank you guys for sharing that. Slaughter, I understand that you've got more to say on the matter, and I want to hear while you not defend, but while you explain yourself and how you feel about these ranking systems. And to be fair, when I asked you about it, I said 1, 2, 3, 4, 5-star films. I don't know if that's the approach you took. You didn't have to. You could do 1 through 10.
I did a 0 film, you got to have those real stinkers.
Yeah, of course. You have the real stinkers. For sure. So, I think that's it. So why don't you just lay it on us? Start from wherever you want, the bottom, the top. Let's just get into it.
Yeah, and I think that's one of the things that to key off of what you and Werner were just talking, or Tyler was just talking about, is when we're looking at a film and you're measuring it. I think there's different types of films. Like we've talked about popcorn films, right? Like there are 5 out of 5 popcorn films that are terrible art films. You know what I mean? There's also some films that are really like keying in on a particular topic or a particular part of the art form of film, and they can really nail those things and absolutely suck at every other thing or at any other thing you could measure a film by. And I think it's interesting, like The Witch and Shrek 2. The Witch is probably a better movie.
Okay.
But there's sometimes where
Shrek 2.
9 out of 10 times I'm going to watch Shrek 2. Yeah, 100%.
Okay.
Sure.
So,
yeah.
And so I guess in going into that's one of the ways that I tried to create my breakdown of like all the movies that I've seen, which I didn't even get through. I think I have like 250 in this list, so it's not even a lot.
Oh my gosh.
But then ranking on a lot of those like the wide diversity of like what things you could really rank or rate a movie on, and then watering that down to a out of 5. So and this is decimal related as well. So 0.7 out of, or 4.7 out of 5, 4.5 out of 5, whatever. So all right. So to go through this, I guess I want to start in the middle. I think on a 4-star, I think is a good start.
Okay.
Plus, there's movies this movie I talk about all the time, right? Well, not talk about all the time, but I love it. I think it's one of the best movies ever made.
What are you pointing at? It's on your screen.
No. I'm setting it up. Shh.
Oh, okay.
No. I'm setting it up.
Yeah.
So
this man's a professional.
I'm blind
Are you
over
kidding
here.
me? You know how many PowerPoints this man has made? Come on.
Oh my God. I can do a PowerPoint right now.
I'm thinking about it.
Real quick, before you unveil it, I actually wanted to say, just to your point too, what you were saying earlier is something that we didn't talk about in the first few minutes of this. Is you outlined some discussions we had previously about like popcorn movies versus good movies. Let's just call it that for now.
Yeah.
But something that also has to be taken into account is maybe not has to, but the rewatchability of these movies, because some of these movies can be absolute, just like unbelievable pieces of art that you walk away from and you're like, I experienced that as much as I can experience that, and I never need to watch that again, kind of thing. I've had that plenty of times in my life. But when you're talking about, like you said, your Shrek 2s or something like that, something that's just like a really easy film to turn on and is just entertaining, from start to finish. For me, maybe like, yeah, for me, it's, I mean, maybe I got Mike Myers on the mind, but all of the Austin Powers movies, those are all basically 5-star movies for me. They're not 5-star movies technically. They're not like Jay Roach's magnum opus, but my God, I will turn on any Austin Powers movie any time of the day, any time of year, and I'll watch that bitch from start to finish, and I'll quote it the entire time, and I'll laugh, cry, and I'll just have a great time, and I'll just be an absolute moron. So that's something that we never, I don't know if you're going to bring it up, but rewatchability, also a big factor. So anyway, floor is yours. Let's hear your starting 4-star movie.
Yeah. All right. So I hate that you brought that up too, because I just had like a breakthrough in resetting this up, and rewatchability is one of like the cornerstones of it. So, okay. So number 4-star movie. The way I'm going to describe this is, if it's better than this movie, it is a 4-star movie. If it is worse than this movie, it is a 3-star movie. Okay. It Follows is the quintessential 4-star movie for me.
So real quick,
yeah.
You said if it's better than this movie, it's 4 stars, but if it's worse, it's 3 stars.
So you're saying
would
that this is
It Follows
the
be
worst,
a 3.5?
This is the worst tier 4 movie.
No, actually,
Okay.
I'm sorry. Let me pull that back. Let me.
Okay.
So
that's all right. That's all right.
If I'm gonna rank it as a 4-star movie, it should be better than this movie. Is the way I would describe that.
Okay, so It Follows is like a 3.5 star. Would you? Is that okay to think? It's somewhere between 3 and 4. If it's better than this, it's 4 stars. If it's worse than this, it's 3 stars.
Okay, I have it ranked
Is
as
that
4.1 stars.
Okay.
That has
okay.
nothing to do with the line that I'm trying to describe here.
That's okay. That's okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm just trying to understand.
It's got to be this good to ride the ride.
Oh man, I gotta delete my PhD paper now. This is ridiculous.
Okay, right? Is that what you're saying?
Okay, no. Okay. What I'm saying is that if it's
Okay, I'm ready.
No,
I don't know what
go.
I'm
Let
saying
him go.
anymore.
Let him go.
No, keep going.
whatever.
Keep going.
It Follows is the quintessential 4-star movie for me.
I like to
Yeah.
hear it. Okay. It Follows, quintessential 4-star movie. I'm writing it down.
Yeah.
I'm putting this on your grave.
Yeah, and good. I put it on my gravestone. But just write it in my head after I'm dead, or before I'm dead. Who cares? Okay. So, I think this is one of the movies where I don't think it reaches into the 5-star category, right? So there's some things that I think it could be better, but as far as like the budget, the general story that it's trying to tell, the use of the plot line, the use of visual effects, everything that kind of builds into it, I think this is the quintessential 4-star movie to go off of. I guess as a guiding light, if I was looking at a movie, I would judge it to say like, is it better than It Follows? And if it's better than It Follows, I would start thinking of it as potentially being a 5-star movie. And if it's worse than It Follows, I would probably start thinking of it as being like a 3-star movie. But there's
Out of
gray area
curiosity,
there, so.
Of course. Out of curiosity, It Follows is a great place to start regarding this. How does it at all? Does the success of the movie have anything to do with you? And when I say success, are we talking critical success? Are we talking just like wide success when it comes to just like popularity among people or friend group or just in your life in general, or also financial success? Do we talk about that at all? Or is this are we just kind of in your eyes, are we just looking at the art form?
Just the art form. So the way I have this set up, and like I said, I'm kind of like reworking this, but I set it up in categories of entertainment, production, mise-en-scène, and effects, suspension of disbelief, good story, technicals, and then actor performance. And so that was kind of like the cornerstone idea of what I was looking at. I do not like to take into account anything related to cultural significance of a film. Like, The Room should not be considered a good movie. You know what I mean?
I'm hard with you.
Okay.
I'm hard with you. That's fine. I also like to point out that it only took 4 episodes for someone to mention mise-en-scène in this movie podcast.
What does that mean?
I'll just
That means
just put a little star next to that.
Yeah. Mise-en-scène is like a French term to mean in the scene. Or within the scene.
Okay.
So it's like when you're thinking about mise-en-scène, you're thinking, when I think about it in this way, it's like, how engulfed do you feel in like the world that the movie's trying to tell you? So like, what's going on around the character? How is it portraying like the setting in general? How are people acting? So a good mise-en-scène makes you feel like everything's kind of like in its place. Nothing really looks out of place. And people are acting how they're supposed to be acting.
Okay.
I think it's like, I feel like the way I to put it bluntly, when talking about cinema, like a two-dimensional medium, I kind of just think production value. I mean, for the most part, how realistic does everything? And when I say realistic, it's not a matter of how real it looks, like compared to real life. Just how immersive is it? Does it look like I'm in?
Immersion is what I was trying to think of. Yeah, so it's like when you're watching a Harry Potter movie, you want to feel the Harry Potterness of it.
Oh yeah,
sure. Yeah, for sure.
And you feel like you're in Diagon Alley, right?
Yes. I'm here.
What
for
he just
Justin
say?
Cheese.
Diagon Alley.
Diagon Alley. All right, carry on, Slawter.
Yeah. So, I don't know. Do I have to defend that? Like,
no defense at all. We've talked about it. Follows previously in the horror movie draft as well.
Yeah.
I think Tyler was the only person not present for that. I don't know, Tyler, if you have seen the movie or want to weigh in at all. We've talked about it, not at length, but we've talked about its importance to us, especially around the time it came out, 2014, maybe 2014. Yeah, 2014, 2015. And it was just a smash success. I mean,
smashing.
It wasn't like level of Blair Witch success in terms of minimal budget, maximum success financially, or popularity wise, I feel like, but it definitely made its rounds in the young adult kind of zeitgeist about like, you should see this movie. If you like horror movies, you should go see this movie, whatever. And then we all found out that it was a fantastic movie.
All right, I want to go down and then finish
Okay.
on 5-star.
Okay.
So number 3 star, quintessential 3-star movie. I would say The Princess Bride fits exactly in that
Wow.
form. So
Okay.
throwback 1987, but it's just got everything as far as I think that it has a simple yet interesting storyline. It doesn't really go crazy on the visual effects or anything. The acting's pretty good, but it's not stellar. The production value is like decent, So I think it fits basically perfectly at the 3-star level. So, yeah, I don't know. What do y'all think of that?
You gotta watch out for those RUSs.
You say that that's a 3-star movie, and my initial like knee-jerk reaction is like I'm appalled, but I think you're totally right. It's obviously like for maybe a fair amount of us, or maybe of those of us who have older siblings, it was like a kind of like a staple growing up. But if you were to introduce this movie to someone at our age range and our background now that they've never seen before, I think the most you could do is put it in front of them and say, this is a really good movie, but it's not like, you're not gonna love it. It's got a lot of heart, and it's kind of not painfully 80s, but very clearly 80s in terms of like set design, product design. There's that the scene where Dread Pirate Roberts is climbing after them on the cliff, like one of the first scenes with him, and their encounter with Inigo Montoya, and they have their first sword fight, is like so painfully on a stage.
Yeah.
But like it's also like kind of endearing. So it's real tough. It's really tough to juggle those things and say, is this good or is this bad? Because the problem is the movie has so much heart behind it that you just have a good time the entire time you're on.
Yeah,
So,
I think I rewatched it a few years ago, and there's some scenes where there's like a sea monster that shows up, and you're this is just like a plastic toy in water. Like it's like if you watch Jumanji and there's a scene with spiders in the attic, and you're just like, I can see the sticks coming out of the floorboards holding these spiders up. Like I could just see it. So yeah, I get it. It definitely suffers from
age
and some practical effects just like not being done like they have in other better films. But I do love this movie. It's great. But you're probably right at 3.
Yeah,
for now.
I feel like well, when I was before I watched it, everyone was always gassing this movie up so hard, and I've always been into watching movies, and like good movies, bad movies, artful movies, weird movies. So when I watched this for the first time when I was like 14 or 15, I remember we watched it in class. Like our teacher was probably hungover and pulled in the TV one morning, and we watched this, and I was like, this movie's like okay. It's fun. And then it towards the end, it kind of drags on. Like, people don't really talk about the pacing of the movie, but
the pacing's
like, the first,
a little rough.
40 minutes is good, but yeah, the rest of it takes so long. I can't remember the end. I'm gonna be honest. So,
something about fighting the big rats, and then he comes back to life, and then they fight on top of a castle.
I'm pretty sure that's still like the first 2/3 of the movie. So
yeah, that's the ending too.
Yeah, you're close.
They come back around.
when they're at the castle, like getting ready to storm it, I feel like is about the beginning of Act 3, which is around the time I tune out until Inigo Montoya gets his revenge, basically.
Yes.
And then that's pretty much it. But yeah, this is a quintessential 3-star movie with like a heart, right? Like I love this movie to death, and it's very easily watchable. But it's just so ingrained in the culture. You can talk to anybody our age or a little bit older, and you can be bitching to them about having to do anything, and you're okay, well, I'm off to go do this thing, and their response will just be have fun storming the castle or something along those lines. Like, you've heard every line from it in every thing that references pop culture all the time. Every time Park and I see Carol Kane in something, she goes, "I'm not a witch, I'm your wife." You know? It's so endearing. It's hard not to love it.
Yeah, but it's also, I actually have a little bit of an opposite take of what Slaughter said. Like, I actually think the pacing of that movie is really good. I think it's a little bit whimsical, and that's probably where it gets docked a couple points. But I actually think the pacing of that movie, it's a warm movie, it's a fun movie, and I thought the pacing is spot on. It's not a very long movie, but definitely isn't for everyone.
Whimsical is a great word to use to describe it. And I think you're right too. At what looks like 98 minutes.
Dude,
it
feels like it's like a 2-hour guy.
And you know what? I think I agree with you. It's still incredibly watchable, but it does feel like at least triple digits when we talk to minutes. But I don't know. Yeah, I think I mostly agree. And who knows? I don't know if that's a sign of a good movie or a bad movie. It feels like maybe it's a little bit longer than it is because, like, I think most other people we've agreed, like, once Act 3 starts off, I kind of like am lost. Like, all of the endearing, quotable, lovely things about this movie happen in the first 2 acts, or at least like the first 45 minutes, and then you kind of trail off a little bit until you get to like the big conclusion, maybe. But it's to Tyler's point, maybe the fact that it feels that way, but is still within 98-minute time frame is
insane.
An astounding feat. Yeah. Also, looking at this here, I don't think I knew this. Music by Mark Knopfler of Dire Straits.
Really?
Huh? I had no idea.
Yeah. Huh? No idea. Yeah. We love Mark Knopfler. He's a sultan of swing.
Yeah.
Awesome. All right, Slaughter.
All right. Number 2. Number 2, I think the quintessential number 2 or 2-star movie is going to be Tenacious D and the Pick of Destiny.
You can.
I think you just hurt my soul.
But
I think you're. Oh God, I love having these conversations because I need to have I need to have the conversation because I look at Tenacious D, I'm like, I'm immediately like 5-star movie, love it, but
Dude.
but it's not. It's not. I just love it, and I've watched it 1,000 times, but I don't. It's not a 5-star movie.
Tenacious D is absolutely boy slop.
I didn't know it exists, but I cracked open a can of it and I ate it right down.
Yeah.
Yeah. Or wait, do you want me to go into that? I don't really think that has.
You nailed it, buddy.
Yeah, perfect.
That's interesting. I was just talking to one of our friends today about Tarantino releasing like his top 20 films of all time, and he releases 20 through 10 or 20 through 11 today. And School of Rock was like number 14. And obviously they're different movies, but Jack Black heading a music-forward movie is something that's not like not a stranger to any of us as 30-year-old men. But for someone, as I guess I would say as respectable as Tarantino in the cinema world, and as well a name known as Tarantino from people, our parents' generation to maybe generations below us, and moviegoers and non-moviegoers alike, for him to put School of Rock at number 14 which
That's
again
huge.
is not Tenacious
Yeah.
D, but it's a Jack Black. It's a Linklater movie, which we love Linklater here, but Jack Black heading a pretty goofy kind of movie. It's just music forward and again, has some kind of heart behind it. But we God forbid, we read some half-star reviews of that a couple episodes ago, and people hate that movie.
Yeah.
Some people hate that
Yeah.
movie, and people love to hate Jack Black, but Tenacious D is not School of Rock, even though there's probably a lot of through lines that you can draw to it. But I certainly remember it being a bit of an object of interest in our teenage years for some people. I don't know if you guys have any specific relationship to it or not, but it was one of the few DVDs I owned, that's for sure.
Yeah, no, it was always on like MTV or Spike.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And so
Spike.
For sure.
watch that on like a Sunday. Yeah.
It's just like a good time comedy movie,
Yeah.
which I feel like was a little bit lacking at the time. Like there was a lot of rom-coms coming out, but like romance was always a subplot, and this was just like, nah, we're just having a good time. I think it came out, and maybe I'm remembering correctly, like sometime around like Anchorman as well.
Yeah.
like-
it's, 2 years before, 2006, 2008.
Sure. Yeah, just like good, solid comedy movie. It was, again, I was the right demographic for the movie when it came out, and it just hit. And, going back to it and thinking about it, I'm like, yeah, it's funny, but it's not really good.
Yeah. It's technically a Rat Pack or whatever they're called because Ben Stiller's in it.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
Yeah, Ben Stiller is in it. The movie's completely fine, and I think it probably holds some kind of spot in our life or heart, but it is also the kind of and to your point, Ethan, too, that mid-2000s comedy era where we're kind of in the throes of the Judd Apatow era with like your Pineapple Expresses and Superbads and all of those like really big like R-rated comedies that came out. You've got your Seth Rogens and Michael Cera's and all of those people. That was like I don't want to say it was a good time for comedy, but it was definitely a transformative time for comedies. Especially amongst that R-rated crowd. And Tenacious D comes out, and like you said, it was perfect for you at the time. You can probably take, I feel like you could probably take a Superbad or like a Forgetting Sarah Marshall, and show it to someone now, and they would still find it funny or endearing or something to that sort. If you showed Tenacious D to someone, that is either their flavor or it is absolutely not their motherfucking flavor, and they're gonna hate it. I don't think it has a lot of legs, so to speak. But the fun thing was always to say, did you guys know that Dave Grohl, Dave Grohl was the devil at the end? He was that guy. The guy from Foo Fighters. Do you know that guy from Foo Fighters?
Wait.
The guy from Nirvana?
No way.
No, he was the devil in the music video.
No, he was the devil in the movie. He might have been in both. I don't know. He
I
was the devil in
don't
the
think
movie.
he was, because I'm pretty sure I was gonna say that was a 3-star movie, but I knocked it out because I knocked 1 star off because Dave Grohl wasn't the devil. So hang on, let me look this up.
No, he's
Look at that,
definitely the
goddamn,
devil.
he's definitely the devil for sure. Yeah, of course. And then you even the meme. You haven't seen the meme of I'm a big fan of your work, and it's the devil talking to Jack Black. Dave Grohl is Satan, right there.
Yeah.
Fifth.
Okay,
fifth
all right,
credit, Nick.
good. All right, well, bad news, guys. This is being bumped up to a 3-star now.
Oh no, that's all it takes.
That's all it takes, baby.
Yes,
Oh,
Dave
yeah.
Grohl. Dave Grohl. Is the difference.
Lucky it's not
2-star to
4.
3-star.
Nah,
Damn.
listen, he wrote My Hero. It's back down to a 2.
Oh no.
All right. Speaking of 1 stars,
Okay.
The Happening is the quintessential 1-star movie.
Oh, it's so bad.
Yeah.
Oh, it's so bad.
You guys need to tell me more about this movie because we talked about it on one of our early episodes.
No, you need to watch it.
No,
Oh,
terrorist.
Don't make me watch it. Don't make me watch it. I
Just-
think Ethan's. What'd you say? There's a link to the YouTube clip where Mark Wahlberg's like the plants are killing people.
Yeah.
Oh my god!
It's like a
terrible.
thought crime to make me remember this movie.
Oh man.
Oh, that's good stuff.
Yeah, it's terrible.
Okay, Slaughter, you're a big M. Night fan, though. And this movie's that bad?
Listen.
Yes.
I don't rank M. Night Shyamalan above 2 stars. Okay.
No, that's okay. That's fine.
That's not fair.
I like the
Science is
movies.
better than 2 star.
I don't know about that.
Okay.
All right, so The Happening, 1-star movie. What? So you don't have to. I mean, you can. You don't have to describe specifically what is bad about this movie, but like,
Yeah. No.
if you have any others, like, what are your ones? Well, you said you was 0-star too, right? So it can get worse.
It can get worse.
Okay, all right.
Oh, yeah.
So this is
This
really
is
bad if
not.
you want to expand upon it, but I want to know what's bad.
I don't think this is in the bottom 20 of my list.
Oh
So
boy. Okay.
That's how bad we are at.
Yeah, I mean, like,
Okay.
I can expand a little bit on The Happening, but
Let's hear it.
it's just the plot is. I mean, obviously the plot is bad. Everything about the movie is bad. But they're like on. I think in the beginning they're like on a train, and with the credits, like, it almost looks interesting because you see, like, again, a bunch of people like jumping off buildings or they're like killing themselves, and you're like, okay, something weird is going on, some new supernatural thing, and it just like the plants. The plot is like the plants are fighting against global warming, and they've like evolved to be able to mind control people to kill themselves.
Beautiful.
And
Yeah.
so
Beautiful.
I'm just, I'm
Who
like,
produced this and paid for it?
M. Night
Night
Shyamalan.
Shyamalan.
I think he
Oh.
self-produced and yeah. So and here's the thing about it. So the problem that I have with this movie actually, I think, solely sits in the direction of the movie. So the worst thing that I dislike about this movie is that there are points where people are acting and you cannot tell what the director is trying to convey. Like there's points where I'm like, I don't know if M. Night Shyamalan wanted this person to pretend like they're lying badly, so they're doing a really good acting job at lying, but obviously not coming off as a good lie, versus like it's just a terrible fucking actor. Like it could be one or the other, and that's my biggest thing. Pacing's off, terrible direction in the pacing. There's some points where the setting's just changing, and they're not really giving like an explanation as to like where they're going or what they're doing. They're just kind of like traveling around trying to figure out what's going on, and there's no real sense of like direction of the movie. Like I do think that the director was the problem with this movie.
Oh.
I think you have a very valid point. When you cast Mark Wahlberg in the movie, and okay, so granted, we're talking mid-2000s, so like 20 years ago at this point. But I feel like Mark has probably established kind of his kind of status,
Brand,
right,
yeah.
as an actor at that point. Yeah, and fortunately for us, you get one of two Marks. You get a Boogie Nights Mark, where he's like very dumb and just playing the dumb guy, but he's also very handsome and very charming, and can just waltz through the movie. And in Boogie Nights' case, is part of a big ensemble cast, so he doesn't necessarily have to be the strongest part. He's got other people to lean on, and there's other things to lean on in that movie. But then you also have like The Departed, and you have so many other things that have come out, action comedies or action forward movies featuring Mark, where he's either like this mean motherfucker, maybe in the case of some of these movies, action comedy, mean and funny motherfucker. We're talking about Ted, like, for example. I don't love the movie Ted, but it was fucking popular as all hell.
I like the movie too.
Yeah, like funny, mean and funny, mean action star, or Boogie
Yeah,
Nights
that's
Mark,
exactly it. Yeah.
And I feel like M. Night put him in this movie, and he's Boogie Nights Mark in this like world-ending event, like catastrophe that's going on, and you get this really limp, like wet paper towel Mark Wahlberg trying to convey what is going on via the plants, to the audience, and you're like, this is ridiculous. I need gun-toting, mean Boston Mark Wahlberg, like automatic weaponing down the fighting plants, like and
That's what you want.
It becomes like an action comedy or something like that. I think that is just better, but that's not an M. Night movie. That's not the movie he wanted to do. I don't know. Those are my thoughts on
That
Mark
ain't
Wahlberg.
me.
I think there's something worth mentioning here though as well. Like, yeah, M. Night Shyamalan dropped the ball on this one pretty hard, but like Mark Wahlberg is one of those actors, as an example, that kind of falls into a similar category as like Brad Pitt too, where some people just love him and some people hate him.
Yeah.
And that's going to directly influence your rating of any movie that casts them. Like, I'm not the biggest Mark Wahlberg fan. Like, you'd be, pressed to find a movie that, is above average on my list that stars Mark Wahlberg. Same thing with Brad Pitt. Like, he's got a lot of good films, but nothing that's going to get the highest tier of ranking from me, just because I don't love him as an actor.
Yeah, I think a lot of the understanding around like a Brad Pitt, for example, is I feel like the general consensus is that he's a character actor in a leading man's body, is what a lot of people refer to him as. And I think maybe you could apply that to Mark as well, because Mark is someone who definitely feels like he takes pride in his physical prowess as an actor. A lot of stunts and action things and things of that nature, I feel like, in his filmography. But to outline what I was saying previously, I feel like he typically only plays most of the time it's that mean motherfucker from Boston. And sometimes it's not, but most of the time it is. And if you ever like, I think if you listen to like interviews about when people ask him about working with Paul Thomas Anderson in the 90s with Boogie Nights and stuff like that, he's like not very proud of it, because he's like a very religious, I think, like forward and like family man, and Boogie Nights is obviously a very depraved movie. So he doesn't like talking about that. So I think he has kind of found his lane. He wants to stick to it. So I would agree with that sentiment at that point then, is that he would be kind of more of this character actor, this guy that's always the action guy, not the Tom Cruise action guy, not someone that can make you tear up on screen, but he's just the action guy, and it gets put in all these different roles, and maybe that's not people's flavor, to your point, Tyler. Yeah, maybe people just see the movie and they're not drawn to it. The time of the movie star, I feel like, is past. You can't put a movie up and be like, this is the new Mark Wahlberg movie. They tried to do that, I think, in the last year or two. The movie was called Flight Risk. I went to go see it, and it was terrible. So, I don't know what else to tell you.
Do I need to put Boogie Nights on my watch list?
You absolutely do.
Okay.
Oh my god.
And to your point,
It's on
Jason, I want to say that, an example of that was that Dwayne Johnson movie that just came out recently as well.
The Smashing Machine.
Yeah, exactly. I think we were talking about it like a few weeks ago, where it's like, yeah, there was a certain point where it's like putting a star like that in a movie would just get people to show up, and it doesn't seem like that's the case, or at least not for him.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a little tough, especially with him too, because Dwayne Johnson, now known as, again, like an action star, and don't get me wrong, the man prints money when he's in those movies, when he's in his Jumanjis and he's in his Fast franchise movies and all that stuff. Like, the man is a box office success, and anybody would be lucky to have him in their film. I'm glad that he is open enough to work with someone like Benny Safdie to make this like real deep kind of character study on this guy who is a real like damaged individual, and to tell the story about the things that he goes through. No, it was not as successful as the nth entry in the Fast movies,
Right.
But I'm glad that The Rock is kind of like expanding those horizons for sure. And whether or not he sticks to it, can't say. I thought he did fine in the movie. I mean, let's be honest. He was playing a version of himself in the movie. So, yeah, it is what it is. But
that money.
Yeah, exactly. But Smashing Machine's decent. I think The Rock did a good job. I think I'd like to see him do some more dramatic roles and see how he goes for sure. All right, so The Happening, a 1-star movie, Slaughter.
Oh yeah.
You said you have a 0-star movie.
Yeah, I would say I have a couple.
What's the worst?
Yeah, I mean,
The
just
worst
give
is
us the
Take us to rock bottom.
So I don't know if you guys have ever heard of Adam Sandler's first movie, Going Overboard.
You talked
Yeah,
about
You
it.
only, yeah, I don't
Because
think
I
I've-
talked about it,
I was
yep.
like,
Yep.
that's all I've heard from it. Yeah.
This movie, to put this in perspective, Tyler, because you weren't here when I talked about it first. This is Adam Sandler. He plays a person working on a cruise ship, and the comedian for the cruise ship they think went overboard, so he has to stand in as a comedian for the cruise ship, and then like hilarity ensues. And this movie is absolute hot trash, dude. It is like, we were talking about, like the Astro Crag that Amigo Montoya fought on top of,
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
but like
okay.
this is like 10 times worse. Like you were like, this is clearly they are not on a boat, and they just use like B-roll of a boat like from a beach at some point.
Yeah.
And they're running around, and it might as well have been like a backdrop on a rope just rolling to show like the sky go by. It is absolutely terrible of a movie. The acting's terrible, the story is terrible, nothing's funny. It's a comedy. It's listed as a comedy / musical. Actually.
Comedy slash
musical.
Slash musical.
Whoa.
No.
Wait, does Adam Sandler like? Is that where did he start doing like his musical bits in that? Like, did he go up on
No.
stage and do one of?
No.
Okay.
I
okay,
was-
all right,
better.
sure.
I don't think he did. Again, I'm not going to rewatch this fucking movie, but it like when I watched it, I don't recall any like music or musical aspects to it. So
I'm more interested in watching Going Overboard than I am The Happening because everything you just outlined sounds like a hilarious Adam Sandler movie where he's like the janitor and he just like walks up on stage and was like cleaning the stage and everybody is like, "Oh, is this the comedian?" And then he says something Adam Sandler.
What do you mean me?
And then,
I'm just a
and
Jewish
then-
boy. I got off the dock.
Yeah.
But do you like that style of Adam Sandler? I guess is the big question,
I
because Adam
love
Sandler is
Adam
one of
Sandler.
those actors that like I don't like. I do not gravitate towards that comedic side of Adam Sandler, like the Happy Gilmore type Adam Sandler. But I definitely appreciate what he's done with like Uncut Gems and Hustle and some of the more serious films. Like I like him in those roles.
no, I love
You're in
all
the
of his
Dwayne
serious.
Johnson part of it. Yeah, his career that we were just talking
It really
about.
is what
Yeah.
it is.
You
Yeah.
know, it sounds but Adam Sandler.
And then occasionally a Who Done It
yeah.
with Jennifer Aniston.
But it's not just Adam Sandler. I think it's the type of movie too. Like those really goofy like comedies,
Yeah.
like just don't sit with me. You know, they don't
No,
strike. the chord.
absolutely. And this is not even good as to that as a standard. Like this is a absolutely garbage movie. Do not watch it.
There is. I just pulled it up on IMDb while you're talking about it. There is an incredible review that I just want to read out.
Oh yeah, give it to
If
us.
that's
Oh,
all
let's
right.
hear it.
Hey,
Yeah.
I wanted to punch the TV. Watching it was torture. I hated it. Never watch this movie. This is the most irritating film in the world. I love Adam Sandler. Do not buy this movie unless you want to annoy yourself. If you find it for free, hide it so no one else can watch it. Incredible.
That's great. Was it by our friend the blue guy?
No, it's just
no, blue guy.
this is the first review of the movie I read. Incredible.
Yeah, I can understand Adam Sandler not being everyone's flavor, but there's no denying the run from Billy Madison, Happy Gilmore, Wedding Singer, Waterboy, Big Daddy,
Oh, I know.
Little Nicky, makes a feature in Joe Dirt, Punch Drunk Love, works with Paul Thomas Anderson, an amazing movie, 8 Crazy Nights, the animated film, starts to show up in
My
all
favorite
these other
Christmas
things,
movie.
Hot Chick, Anger Management, 50 First Dates, Spanglish, Longest Yard remake, Benchwarmers, Click. I mean, we're starting to get into the late 2000s when it starts to fall into like Funny People, and well, I mean, Funny People's fine, but like Grown Ups is 2010, for example. And at that point, he's got the blank check, right?
Yep.
He's just making movies for him, or movies. I think he's talked about before, like he wants to make movies that like his kids are gonna laugh at, kind of thing. So he gets all his friends and he ships them off to Hawaii or wherever the hell he wants to go that time of year, and then makes a 2-hour comedy, and there's probably some funny jokes in them. It's maybe not worth the price of admission at your local theater, but it's maybe worth
Free on Netflix.
a silly. Yeah.
Yep, that's
So,
where he's landed.
for sure.
Boy, the
Okay.
reviews
Zero-star
of this
movie going overboard.
the reviews of this film are brutal.
Are we still going overboard?
No, I'm not. Yeah, I'm not going to read any of them, but
Okay,
like
no,
Ethan
that's
has.
okay.
But you want to get a kick, go to IMDb or Rotten Tomatoes and just skim through some on your own accord.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, Slaughter. We've gone 4 through 0. So why don't you bestow us with what some of your most perfect films are?
All right. I'll caveat this saying this is not the best film that I would grade. But like I was saying before, when I think of like the quintessential 5-star movie, I'm thinking of like a movie's got to do this good, around this good to be considered a 5-star movie.
Does it have to be better than a certain title like It Follows, or are there? It doesn't quite have that wiggle room yet because you have the entire 4-star category to work through, and now this is 5-star. This is an echelon above It Follows.
Yeah, like if I'm saying, hey, this is a 5-star movie, I'm saying it is above It Follows, but it can be below this movie, but it should be around this movie.
Okay, I hear what you're saying, and before you reveal it, one more thing, because I think about this every now and then. Does your rating system ever, we talked about like rewatchability and things of that nature, does it also ever, does the recommendability of the movie ever come into play? Like, do you ever think about like, I don't care who you are, you should watch this movie? Do you ever think of that into play, or is this still like completely subjective from your point of view?
I think this is it's a combination of that. So when I'm thinking about movies, like there are good art movies that I would say, like, because we've talked about like Tarkovsky, right? I would recommend Tarkovsky to like a Robert Eggers watcher. You know what I mean?
Sure.
But I would not recommend it to a Fast and Furious watcher, right?
I see where you're going.
But
Don't
when you
single
collect
me
all
out.
these things. No, I did not say Wallace and Gromit, okay? So this the idea that I have here is like if you have some kind of like cornerstones of like what types of films there are and like what reasons why somebody would watch a film, you collect them together, you're gonna have something that hits all 4 corners and creates a 5-star movie.
Yeah. You talk about these cornerstones?
Yeah.
Do these 4 cornerstones, like, are they 4 legitimate categories or anything that you're qualifying, or you're just saying that this is it?
Yeah, so I look at it in this way. So these are the kind of like the types of movies that I think about. I think about art movies. You know, we already talked about it. I think when I think of art movies, I'm like Tarkovsky, Eggers, Stanley Kubrick. I would put in like an art movie category.
Okay.
Sure. Cinema, and this is like the kind of our quintessential like film, like cinema film movies, right? Where they're driven by the actor, director, editing, like that kind of set of important things. So that's like I think Christopher Nolan, Spielberg, Ridley Scott are in that category. Entertainment. So this is like Michael Bay, M. Night Shyamalan to a certain perspective. It would be bad in all the other categories, but Peter Jackson, James Cameron, I think they're good entertainment like type movies. And then story. So that's where like PTA, David Lynch, to a certain perspective, like Aronofsky, like there's like a lot, there's some directors that I think have really, really good stories laid throughout their film, but they might be lacking in like other aspects of the film. So
sure. Okay.
Yeah, so that's what I think about. And I think if you collect all 4 of them, you have a really good movie that would be a 5-star movie.
I'm riddled with anticipation.
All right. Well, I have a really boring answer, but the quintessential 5-star movie for me is The Dark Knight.
Oh,
That is a boring answer, God
Yeah.
damn it.
Oh man,
And I'm absolutely right, and you know
I'm
it too.
here
I'm
for
devastated.
it. I'm here for it.
Yeah.
That's okay.
Can we hear what everyone else's 5-star,
Oh,
what
God.
they think a 5-star film looks like?
Oh.
I'm sure
We could-
everyone
I
here
mean-
has one off the top of their head.
I don't know if I want to say quintessential. We can maybe pick one because ultimately, Tyler, my goal is at some point for all of us to have our own episode to talk about this. So
Okay.
I don't necessarily want to spoil it. But if you want to just throw a 5-star movie out there and we can compare all of them, maybe after Slaughter and us talk about Dark Knight, we can certainly do that. So I totally understand this choice, Slaughter, for sure. Well, okay. I feel like, broadly speaking, Dark Knight is something that probably catapulted Christopher Nolan in terms of like household name.
Yeah.
When you're talking about like average moviegoers, maybe didn't quite get people into like superhero movies just yet. But it's, I mean, Batman itself and the themes and everything in it are I think foreign enough to people that they can enjoy it. It's not like they're going into like the 3rd entry of the Captain America series in the MCU or something like that.
Yeah.
They can still just like watch this movie and not need any additional context. Like most people probably understand that Batman's a superhero. He's a guy with a bunch of gadgets. He fights crime. Like easy enough. Just put him in there. We know the Joker. Joker is obviously an iconic villain. So, but there's things to talk about this movie. The direction from Nolan, the acting from Jesus Christ, not Heath Ledger,
Christian Bale.
not Heath
Christian
Ledger,
Bale.
Christian Bale. Jesus, yeah. Things like set design, like all of this. I think, if I'm not mistaken, I think Dark Knight was shot in Chicago. I think Nolan likes it in Chicago. So, like the transformation of the city. When we talk about things like
I was going to say the big shot of the stadium.
Yeah.
That was Pittsburgh, right?
I want to say yes.
I don't know about
and
that.
I want to.
That's
I
in
think
the
they did it
third
at
one,
Heinz
right?
Field.
Yeah, I was going to say they did it at the Heinz Field. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
That's
Sorry,
3
getting
because isn't that the
mixed
scene
up.
with Bane? Yeah.
Yep. Yeah, true. That's 3. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, you're right.
I objected against watching this movie for quite some time because it was kind of that first taste of what do you want to call it? Teenage angst, anti
disestablishmentarianism.
Yeah, whatever that word.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Sure.
I had so many friends and so many close friends of this age that were like Batman stans that are like, you need to watch this movie. It's the greatest movie of all time. I'm like, I will not watch this movie because I will decide what is the greatest movie of all time. And at that point, I might have had Fellowship under my belt, and like that's it. And I was pretty closed off to other movies. And then I remember watching Dark Knight in a friend's basement and just being like, again, what did this come out in 2007?
2008?
I'm still only 15 years old. I have no relationship to these characters other than I like watching Batman kill the bad guys or whatever, or fight the bad guys. So like, I watch this movie and I come out of it, credits roll. I'm just like, fuck, that was amazing. God damn it. Why was it so good? Everyone says it's so good. It was so good. It was so enthralling, entertaining, just firing on all cylinders. I would agree with you. This is a quintessential 5-star movie. It is. You feel like maybe a lot of people would agree with you there. Is it your go-to Nolan pick?
I
feel like
to say
Interstellar
yes.
has a stranglehold on a lot of people, but
Interstellar's
I can
really
understand
good.
this one.
I have a special place for. I'm second guessing myself. Memento is Nolan as well, right?
Yes.
Yeah, of course.
Like Memento. No, I would probably say this is my favorite Nolan for sure.
Is there anything you want to outline about this movie specifically that is why it's a 5-star movie? I mean, there have been video
Essays after
journals,
essays.
video, of dissecting this movie. Like, I think we're all probably pretty aware of it, but what about it makes 5-star even the movie? 5-star movie to you? I mean, I still want to hear about what you like about it.
No, I think the biggest thing is that it, as a movie, I think it hits all the production values that you're looking for. And given like its budget and what you would expect out of the tools that it has in its kit, it really hits everything, right? Where all the actors are acting really well, the editing's pretty good, the pacing is pretty good for the most part. I think pacing has a little bit of an issue towards the end, but like it's pretty good throughout the entire movie. But the biggest thing too is it's also very entertaining. Like, not just because of the fact that it's a superhero movie, but the aspects of the movie are entertaining in and of themselves. I think so. There's probably some things you could say bad about it, but I think this is going to be one of those films that ages incredibly well and will be like a classic in some amount of time, if it's not already a classic now.
It doesn't feel like a superhero movie.
Yeah,
I think that's a fair assessment for sure.
And so many people tried to redo it, I feel like, too, like the brooding superhero movie of Batman, but it works as Batman. And then we tried to get more serious in all these other films that really didn't work. So
right.
I feel like it was one of those things where it created a lot of imposters that couldn't stand up to its greatness, So
It's okay. They'll try and remake it in another few years.
Yeah.
I'm joking.
They already did. I was going to say the
Batman was totally fine.
That's right.
I'll fight you over this. I think that movie's great.
You think it's great? I think it's good.
Yes. I think it's the only way you could redo Batman, because like the way you need to go with it needs to take a new edge, and I think they did it really
with
well.
that.
And you need to change Batman to not be a superhero; he has to be a billionaire in a suit.
That's kind of cool.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, like and I like Robert Pattinson a lot in a lot of the stuff that he's done recently.
But he ain't no Batman. He's not muscly like Batman.
That's true.
Well,
but he's
I guess
just a different,
It's just a different.
It's just a different flavor.
Yeah.
Man, all right, that was an Odyssey. That's a Christopher Nolan Easter egg for you. Wink.
Oh,
That was an
Oh my
Odyssey
God.
to get through that entire.
Go sit in the corner.
To get through that entire. Joke's on you. I already am. Slaughter, did you have any like final thoughts or, to put it plainly, honorable mentions? Is there anything else you want to talk about regarding your ranking system? Before, I guess if we want, we can just share a couple 5-star movies of ourselves and talk about them.
Yeah, no, I think the only thing that I wanted to touch on is that I think it's really hard to identify a quintessential movie for a star rating. So like when I was going through this, like Parasite is probably one of my favorite movies, right?
Yeah.
But it's better than The Dark Knight.
Okay.
But it's not a quintessential. It's like better than a 5-star movie to me, right? Like it's at the top tier of the 5-star ranking, which kind of makes it difficult when you have that range of a 5-star. You know what I mean? I can't imagine how difficult this would be at a 10-star rating. Jesus. But yeah, no, that same thing. Like on 4-star, is Blade Runner 2049 a 4-star or is it 5 stars? It's somewhere in between. Like, so yeah, going through it is kind of fun to go through that, but deciding what movies fit where was really the most difficult part. So,
gentlemen, do you want to share any 5-star picks? Maybe we'll get a little teaser of in the future when we talk about our own personal ranking systems. Or, I mean, you don't have to call it 5-star. You can call it, in Graham's case, a 100% movie, or in Ethan's case, a 10 out of 10. You know, you want to? Is there anything that you guys have, or do some of you guys maybe share the same sentiment as Tyler, where there's always room for improvement and there's not ever quite a 10 out of 10 movie?
I was gonna say probably like I don't know if it's a 10. I'd have to think about it, but at least a high 9 for me. Came out pretty recently. Was The Brutalist.
Oh,
Brutalist is up there for me too. I think I have it as 5 stars.
Yeah, I thought it was incredible, excellent. It's a long haul. You're there for 3.5 hours, but I thought it was worth every moment.
Is that Adrian
I
Brody?
agree.
Right?
Yes, it is. I do
Correct.
love me some Adrian Brody.
Oh yeah. About a man
Anything
with a nose.
stand out? Anything stand out from The Brutalist, Ethan? I mean, I really like the frame of it. You know, it's like, you know, it's like a historical fiction biopic. You know, I really like the story. Everything about it seems like it could be nonfiction with maybe some embellished edges, but a historical fiction. Obviously, there's places of it that take place in or like settings that are like Doylestown, Pennsylvania. Like, we are quite familiar with that area. It's not too far from where a lot of us grew up. But the entire story of Adrian Brody's character and his background and what he goes through as an immigrant to the country and everything that unfolds it was unbelievable. It was as big a spectacle as the objects in that film are. I felt like that movie was, and my jaw was on the floor when the credits rolled.
Yep, I very much agree. And again, like I'm hard pressed to find a movie that I feel like content should have been cut out of it, or at least in this movie. I find it difficult to find any time that I would be like, the movie would be better if we got rid of this section. I feel like all 3.5 hours, I'm sitting there like, we could have skipped sections where there's like, you know, the beginning of him like emigrating to the United States, but it's like, that's important for the character. This is like, this comes back up, not just like later as like a little, oh, were you paying attention in the beginning? That's relevant. It is like fundamental to the character. And, you know, instead of him just like getting a job at the coal mine or whatever and dealing with that as like, oh, the rich guy that's coming to get him to do his work doesn't just like show up immediately and then he just like leaves the coal mine and is immediately, you know, doing the architect stuff that he's meant to do. It's like, we take our time and we really like get to feel like we're here for this person's entire journey and not just like a few little like little pieces of it. And yeah, just like the culmination of all the events, I feel like, yeah, if you cut from this movie, it gets worse. And a lot of times there are movies that I feel like come out where I'm like, wow, we could have just like avoided this whole section and it would have felt
the complete
better.
other way around normally.
Yeah, I think that's a really high honor to bestow upon something, especially at a 3.5 hour runtime. That's incredible. I agree. Graham, how do you feel about 5 stars?
I want to hear what Tyler has to say.
You want to hear what I have to say? I'll just throw a curveball. I think I have, because I'm one who tends to rank movies within like their own kind of pillar. I think it's really hard to rank some movies against other ones for so many different reasons. But throw one out there that's a little different than some of the films we talked about. Spirited Away.
Oh,
Ooh,
Sure.
so good.
That's for its kind of the boxes it tries to check. I think it is a quintessential 5-star movie.
I agree with that.
I still gotta watch it.
You haven't seen
Did you say you gotta watch it?
I have all the Miyazaki on my to-do list. I have not gotten
Wow.
there.
No way.
Wow, that's incredible.
I
Yeah.
feel like you would have seen that years ago. Damn. Okay.
Bro, I'm a weeaboo.
I was gonna
but
say I rented
no.
that from the Reading frickin' Blockbuster. I remember when I saw that.
That's interesting too. Tyler, I don't know if you have any more to talk about that. I feel like Miyazaki movies, in my experience, it's kind of like the first one you're introduced to is it might always be your favorite, might always have a special place in your heart because you're introduced into this entire world of this type of storytelling that is unknown to you at the time. So your first one is always your favorite, or at least holds a special place. I agree and I think that a lot of people agree that Spirited Away is a near perfect or perfect movie. It was probably my, I don't know, 4th or 5th Miyazaki film, and I think it's really good. But I think my first was Howl's Moving Castle, and that just like, to your point, checked all the boxes for me. There were so many things I just absolutely loved about that movie, and I don't know if it ranks higher for other people, but Spirited Away is definitely one of those that's always talked about. Out of curiosity, was Spirited Away your first Miyazaki movie?
I don't know. I don't know. I was just sitting here thinking of some of those movies and which ones are maybe a little bit different from some of the stuff we already talked about. And that was just one that, came to mind that has always been kind of a staple for me. It's kind of holding a very high bar to all the other films within its category.
What age did you see that movie at?
Oh man, I don't know. I've seen it so many times.
So here's my thing is I was going to get into my 5-star pick, but then I was sitting here thinking, and I'm like, I feel like a majority of my picks come from an age where I had less insight into more movies. And I have it's hard to not have nostalgia for different films, but I saw Porco Rosso, which is another Studio Ghibli movie, last year. And it's a story about a pig flying I guess a World War I or II plane and fighting the French in the whole movie. And that's pretty much the whole plot line of it. And they have a big race and end up fighting a bunch of other people. But seeing that movie today as a 32-year-old versus a kid who's 15, or even, you could, I think it's a PG movie. You could watch this movie when you're 8. I could see that movie sticking with you either way. So it's tough to recommend movies like The Dark Knight. You're not going to see that when you're 10 and then also recognize it as a good movie later on once you have texture and many other things and experiences under your belt. So I don't know. I think I have more to explain on my picks than I think.
That's fair. And you know what? You'll have an entire episode to do so. And I'm excited to hear about that in the future when we do it. I'm going to throw it out there. I think that there's a filmmaker out there that is just for me right now. He's one of the newer, not new, but newer filmmakers. It's Damien Chazelle. And when I think about his filmography so far, he's got a movie that, to me, I think we fall into kind of the same categories, Slawter, when we delineate the differences between some of these movies and at their core, how we look at them. He's got movies to me that are quote unquote art movies, an entertaining movie, and a movie that's for me. And I think all of which I'd probably rate 5 stars would be Whiplash, La La Land, and Babylon. I think when Whiplash came out, I actually think some of us watched it together when we were on vacation in Florida when it came out. And I was just that movie is so trim. It's it's 90 some minutes, and there's so much character development and so much at stake for a movie that is essentially about nothing. It's about one guy and he wants to be a drummer, and that's basically it. But it's a really palatable, introduction to like the starving artist kind of movie for me, or the starving artist kind of story. Because you get the sense that Miles Teller's character will do whatever it takes to become the greatest, and I think he actually says that like to a character in the movie.
Yeah.
And you know, obviously you see him, drumming till his hands are bleeding and things of that nature, and trying to prove himself to J.K. Simmons' character and stuff like that. So I think that movie's incredibly rewatchable, and just has an amazing message to it. Not that everyone can identify with it, but I think it's just an amazing movie and incredibly rewatchable. La La Land, I think, is the entertaining one. You get this I cannot not watch that movie and be smiling the entire time. Obviously, Emma Stone and Ryan Gosling are so charming in the entire thing, front to back. Love Emma Stone. Ryan Gosling, sure, great, handsome dude, and also charming, but like in love with Emma Stone. The color correction on it to make it look like it was like printed in Technicolor, and obviously the musical scenes, the musical acts in it are just a knockout. And Damien Chazelle works with, I think, Justin Horowitz for like all of the scores for all of his movies, and they're just a knockout every single time. And then to finish with Babylon, which is the one that I think is for me, which is by a wide margin is not like a critically acclaimed movie at all, his most recent one. And I think a lot of people have the problem with movies about Hollywood where maybe they feel like it's a little too masturbatory, or things of that nature, but it's all about telling the story of these people that are tangentially related to Hollywood in some way, shape, or form around the time of the transition of silent films to talkies. So it's all about the technical stuff happening, from switching all of this black and white filmmaking, quiet filmmaking, to like, how do we sync up the audio and the video? What can we do about like making this as entertaining as possible? This is completely like it's uncharted territory for all of these people. And you have Margot Robbie, who is obviously phenomenal, who plays like an actress who is trying to break through. Brad Pitt, who was a famous actor during silent films, but is having trouble getting his foothold in the new age of Hollywood. And then, oh my gosh, I can't remember his name. I can't remember his name. Not Diego Luna.
Diego Calva.
I can't remember. Yes, Calva. And his character, who is like this, obviously un-American individual who is trying to like find his way in this newly found America for him. And basically trying to work his way from the bottom up. And he starts as, like an assistant on the first film. He's like carting in the first scene of the movie, which is him like overseeing carting like this circus act to a party, and like elephants are shitting all over the road, and it's like it's his responsibility to make sure that these elephants get to this party or something. Like it's an absolute nightmare. But you watch his transformation from like the lowest of the low, the literal guy cleaning up the shit, all the way up to being like a film executive in the new Hollywood. So you get like all of these stories, and they're all intertwined, and it's so over the top. It is masturbatory, but it's so entertaining in a way that it's just like, it's, characters that are doing coke and they're having these wild parties, and it's like this unbelievable thing that you can't even fathom, and it's just a good time. Sure, it may not be like a phenomenal story, I guess, start to finish, or it might not be for everybody, but it is just a spectacle. It is just a spectacle through and through. The movie's like 3 hours long too, so I can understand it's like a tough pill to swallow for some people, but yeah, I think I just jive with Damien Chazelle and everything he's doing. I think he's got 5-star movies just start to finish.
Dying.
Yeah, I feel like because when we saw Babylon together, right? I remember saying specifically, it felt like there was 5 shots that they had like storyboarded, and they wanted to create a storyline that led to those shots so they could shoot it. So it was almost like he was like playing with like his character traits as if it was like a RPG game, and he was like, I'm gonna max
Okay.
out cinematography and just get like the perfect shot 5 times, and he nailed it. And then everything in between was like, but like
They figured it out after the fact. Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I could see a situation where a filmmaker is like, listen, all I know is I'm gonna have my camera on a crane. It's gonna do a 360 around this huge hall. Everyone's gonna be dancing. It's gonna be covered in confetti and glitter. There's going to be elephants. There's going to be live music. And the camera's going to go from A to B. And if that room is not filled up with everything that I want, then I'm going to be pissed. And that's exactly what the first act of that movie, the first scene of that movie is, is just an unbelievable, not work of art, but piece, just set piece. So yeah. And I think that's just entertaining, that's just entertaining. And that's, for me, that's exactly what I want to see in these movies. I just want to be blown away by the ridiculous decisions that these filmmakers are making. Anybody have any closing thoughts?
Yeah, have a happy Thanksgiving.
Happy Thanksgiving.
Happy Thanksgiving, yes. So thank you all. I think that'll do it. Thank you, participants, for participating. Thank you, listeners, for listening. You can find Broken Reel on all of the popular podcast platforms, Apple, Spotify, Amazon Music, all those things. We're also on YouTube now. We have a YouTube channel. Broken Reel is on the Third Unit Movies YouTube channel, and you'll see all our new fancy artwork across all of the platforms as well. So please rate, download, comment, subscribe, ring the bell, whatever all of those superlatives are, and have a happy Thanksgiving if you celebrate it. If not, have a great Thursday, I suppose. We'll leave you guys with this. You can start by wiping that fucking dumb-ass smile off your rosy fucking cheeks. Then you can give me a fucking automobile, a fucking Datsun, a fucking Toyota, a fucking Mustang, a fucking Buick, 4 fucking wheels, and a seat. And I really don't care for the way your company left me in the middle of fucking nowhere with fucking keys to a fucking car that isn't fucking there. And I really didn't care to fucking walk down a fucking highway and across a fucking runway to get back here to have you smile in my fucking face. I want a fucking car right fucking now. Thanks for listening.
Bye.
Bye.